So, the fractured stuff of Armadillo has had some changes, and what it does now is it no longer has recursion, but instead, every time, first of all, it does some damage, like 49.6 to 200%, and then you gain instability, where each time you land a critical strike against your opponent, trigger a time strike attack against your primary target, dealing 60 to 120% ability damage, and time strikes cannot cause another time strike attack to occur. So, if we get some crits, which I guess I could max hit dummy, that's probably a good idea. Now what happens is, every ability that you do and every crit that you get some extra damage. Looks like some lightning above the target, so no projectiles flying from you anymore. And I've already run out of water runes. Wait, was I like really low, or did that just consume? One moment. Are no longer used when getting crits anymore. So these numbers, as you can see, we're critting a lot, but my numbers, they're not going down. So it's all okay. So much cheaper upkeep nowadays. Much cheaper. And one thing that's kind of interesting as well is that you are able to now 4-tick under the staff spec. So dual wield ability, and then switch to staff, then press a spell, then your next ability. It does work, and that could be used to gain extra crits. Elitists win again, I guess people would say, but yeah, let's try it out at some bosses, I guess, and see how it fares. How much damage am I doing? I mean, like, it doesn't seem that different. This was like a really scuffed kill, but honestly, that, like, for the first rash kill, that kind of felt okay. That wasn't bad at all, to be honest. Right, so here's the real test. How does the FSOA fare at Zamorak? Let's find out. Yeah, P1 damage, honestly, it's like perfectly normal. Like, that's very normal P1 damage. Like, I'm perfectly content with that. That's absolutely fine. So one very good thing about Zami is that you can actually use Greater Conk every second ability, which I think is kind of strong with FSOA here. It's quite nice. This is the test. This ring spec, I imagine, is going to be kind of disgustingly painful because Animate Dead no longer works with Typeless. However, I think we got very lucky, and the smoke didn't hit us at all because it was like the most friendly smoke of all time. So that's cool, I guess. How much will it hurt is the question. Ooh. Okay, so that smoke hitting 3k now. Little rough, but manageable. Wait, dude, I swear this smoke has been like the friendliest smoke ever, by the way. Dude, it just walks away from me every time. It's scared of me, this smoke. It really is. I had a shielded debilitate. Oh, I'm not liking this. I mean, I kind of messed up, but like, this is bad. I'm gonna get Ring of Death unless I get a Lucky Proc. Apparently, I forgot to FSOA in P7. That might explain why it was so terrible. And someone's saying that maybe my overload ran out as well. So maybe we try that again while not being an idiot. But guys, I'd say, like, the initial thoughts, like the rest of that kill, the P1 to 6, honestly felt about the same as normal. So so far impressions are quite good, to be honest. Oh, reflect. Okay, good news. We should be getting the kill unless I completely troll. It's on 70k, which isn't too bad, I don't think. So we'll see how it goes. A lot more damage from the Infernus stuff, like a lot more. That's kind of unpleasant, actually. It's hitting 300 instead of like 60. And there we go. So it seems like that the secondary phasing is still pretty normal, but there we go. I think that's a world first 2k on the beta. Earlier about thingies, unless I missed it, I don't know. But unlucky, no broadcast, but still, it's still doable. It's still doable. prices. It's just some of these things, like the salvage is a lot more than it should be, and like the pyro class and stuff. So yeah, pay no attention to the 39 mil. They're not actually that much. These are just old values. In terms of damage taken, you take a lot more damage. Like, I have significantly less food than I otherwise would, because yeah, dude, the lack of like super blood barrage heals is pretty rough. Not to mention Animate Dead, you know, typeless damage, you take more in Infernus, you take more from the ring spec, you take more from like the big kaboom, like you just kind of take more from everything, so it really does hurt quite a lot. The thing is the FSOA damage feels perfectly fine, nothing wrong with it really, but the Animate Dead on typeless is very rough at Zamorak. Just so far, AOD very normal with the Adren build at the start. It's quite classic there, so nothing out of the ordinary at all. There we go, that'll do it. 1 AOD kill on the Vita. We finished with 2 out of our 7 people remaining, but that may not be because of FSOA nerfs. So yeah, 1 extra ability P1 is kind of normal, I think, sometimes. I don't know, like half the time we need the ability, half the time not. There we go. So it took us a while, but it looks like you can still get around 130s just fine on the post-nerf world, so it's okay. So yeah, from what we see so far, mage range is basically unaffected. Mage melee gets a little bit scuffed, and apparently mage base is a little bit horrendous in terms of Adren. There we go. So again, that's like back to back, like in the 130 region. So you know, it's all doable. It's not too bad, at least for mage range. I can't say the same for the other methods, but mage range seems fine. Very possible to get sub 130s. I'm sure it's very possible. But sub 120s now, I'm not sure about that one, to be honest. So now it still seems, mage base, he's having some big Adren issues, but yeah, mage range is still mostly okay. It's just like a little bit slower. That's all it is, just like a little bit slower than before. So Exsanguinate, very big part of FSOA now, I think, so you do want to try and be maxing your stacks as best you can, because apparently it does work for FSOA damage. Times should be about the same once people get used to it. We did lose pyres about 17 times, unfortunately. But yeah, it shouldn't be that much different if you're, like I said, if you're mage ranging. People either mage or mage melee, and I think for those people, it's gonna be a bit rough. I reckon it's gonna be a bit rough. Slower than before, maybe like 3 to 5 seconds, maybe a bit more depending on the kill. So overall, it's not horrendous for mage range, but yeah, other ones, yeah. Preference in like a Raksha kill, a couple of Zami kills or attempts, and then 40 minutes of AOD, I used only like 3,800 water rains, so that's a big improvement. Bless you. There we go. Dude, I can't even see. How do I... Oh, there we go. Like, there we go. Wow, guys, look at me go. I'm crazy. Look at all these achievements that I've just achieved. Wow. Oh no, guys, the boss doesn't have smoke cloud on it. Oh, it's okay. I will just use smoke cloud during my FSOA. Easy. Do the debil. There we go. So this one shouldn't be too bad, I don't think. Like, I feel like I'm kind of okay here. Also do a bunch of conking as well during all this, which I think is fine. Oh, I'm nearly dead. I had 96 Adren, so didn't quite get my immortality up. Just almost enough, but not quite. I don't know if that's like a FSOA issue or a me issue, but I didn't use any like, I didn't armor battle stuff at all, so I didn't do any like major Adren dumps. Wait, where's my health? Oh my god. Dude, I'm like dying to the typeless in here. Holy. Didn't even realize. Dude, these 300s hurt now a lot. And there we go. So that ending is all normal, but dude, that typeless damage from Infernus, jeez, like it's all my food gone again. Like, what is going on? Scary stuff. What did you take at Zami? Like, dude, like these typeless hits with Animate Dead not working on them, dude, it's painful, man. It's painful. Time is around the same in duo at least, but it just hurts so much more. Like the pain because of the typeless damage is just it's brutal. Honestly, it's absolutely brutal. minutes of Zammying, I think, because I think I filled my pouch again. I used what 1.4k blood rune, water runes, and like 600 blood runes, so not too bad, not too bad. So yeah, 200% enrage. Seems mostly the same as before. We kind of messed up a little bit, so like it was a bit slower than normal, but like P7, it felt pretty normal. So yeah, I didn't really have too many problems in P7 here. That was all fine. Like the skips were still fine in the other phases. Obviously we were a bit rusty, so it was a bit slower. But like other than that, like it seemed pretty normal. First of all, without Animate Dead, and then with Animate Dead, and we'll see how big a difference that makes at a place that's not typeless. There we go, 36 seconds right there. So, you know, that was a little while. We survived, but now I'll go back with Animate Dead, and we'll see what happens. This is Animate Dead with no fungal shield because it's still on cooldown, and it looks like we're gonna, yeah, so we're gonna basically match it like before, but obviously I'll have a shield next time. Okay, so I think I got a little unlucky this time perhaps, but I mean, it's surviving longer. But I feel like they hit me a lot more this time. But it made it to 40 seconds, so we definitely tanked a little bit more. So yeah, Animate Dead definitely still gives a damage reduction, just not quite as much as before, which honestly I think is fine. It's only against Typeless that it suffers a lot. Channeler Conk, Reaver's Debreath, Auto Ability, Channeler's Conk, Reaver's Wild Magic. Oh my god, is that going to be the meta, guys? Because I could definitely see situations where doing like these ring switches like this are actually going to be quite necessary. Because like the 9-second part's only for the enchant, not for the base ring. Switch is better than just like camping one or the other, like the 5% crit there, or like the extra crit damage for the 9-second one. I don't know, but it's something to think about. Okay, so there we have it, guys. I've been doing a little bit more research on what people are thinking about the FSOA changes, and rather interestingly, especially for the lower end of players, you know, those of you that like to sit back, relax a bit, don't like to put too many crazy inputs in. You just want to let your Revo do its thing. Believe it or not, you guys are getting a rather large damage buff. Believe it or not. So yeah, for a lot of players, FSOA is going to be doing more damage than before, which is certainly interesting. And weirdly enough, even for the higher end players, in some cases you can actually do more damage as well. Yeah, who would have seen that one coming when we had FSOA adjustment? Obviously the big drawbacks are you can no longer get as big a benefit from stuff like Blood Barrage during FSOAs, so you will be taking, well, you won't be healing as much, which is a bit scary. But a big thing is make sure your Exsanguinate is stacked up during FSOA spec. That's like one of the very important things because it does work, by the way. It does work, so make sure you have your big stackies. Always want to get them up. So do Insight Fear for the Tsunami, then after that, just camp Exsanguinate, I think is a perfectly fine thing to do. Ideally, you'd like switch back between them to like upkeep both, but if you want to do like the lazy way, get your Tsunami, then switch to Exsanguinate, stay there forever until you're ready to do your next Tsunami, then switch back and get the stacks. As well, of course, well, the best ability in the game was Greater Concentrated Blast, and it is now Greater Concentrated Blast. So basically, just use this whenever it's off cooldown. Do remember that it's a bit unfriendly with Revo. So on Revo, you'll be losing a tick every time you G-Conk. So one thing that is pretty important, if you are a Revo player wanting to improve your DPS, is that whenever your G-Conk happens, please do try and make sure you just literally use any other ability as soon as you can, because basically Revo has like an extra 1 tick on Conk from, I guess, the old days when Conk was a bit different. Like regular Conk took 4 ticks, I think, and now it takes 3. I don't know. Either way, make sure you do that. So yeah, every time you use it, so for example, like right now, use it there, I'll just be like clicking Wild Magic, and then that will save you a tick every time, and every tick is quite important because every tick that you are doing, or every tick that you're not doing damage, you're not doing damage. So it's a big way to improve your DPS, fairly simply. Yeah, always try and use like after conk, like your good abilities like Dragon Breath if you're in a basic, Wild Magic for a threshold, and Omni Power for your ultimates. Also, never a bad idea to do like conk into Gothic Staff as well. You can get some good damage with that. And some people are saying now as well that the Channeler's Ring, especially with the upgrade, it may be outperforming the Reaver's Ring, believe it or not. Mostly because of the absurd amount of greater conks that you're doing. But also it's pretty good for like tendrils as well. And one of the things, guys, I think just last thing, apparently the Armador Battle Staff EOF not really gonna see much use in the future, I don't think. Like it can technically be used as like an adren dump between well, if you have like loads of adren, it can be like a good thing to adren dump with. Like very temporarily though, because like you only really want to do it until you get your next greater conk back. So like maybe you'll do like 3 hits on with battle staff, then go back to conk again. But yeah, but basically greater conk is the world right now. But yeah, overall FSOA changes, I am pleasantly surprised. I really am. So I think they've actually done quite a nice job on them. They've made it a lot more consistent. Which I didn't think would happen when I first saw the changes, but I've been yeah, I was wrong. It is surprisingly consistent now, mostly due to the effectiveness of conk, I assume. But still, so that's really cool. It is I do feel like it's a slight damage nerf at AOD and at Zami. I could be wrong. Maybe we're just bad. Maybe there are other rotations that would do more damage now that things have been changed up a bit. We'll have to wait and see how that progresses. This is day 1 after all, but the AOD kill on the beta was a little bit slower, and so were our Zami kills at 2k. But maybe we're just bad and rusty. I don't know. Other than that, Animate dead nerfs I think are good. You still take reduced damage. It's just no longer going to be just insane amounts of reduced damage basically. So that is all good there. One thing I will touch on though is Zamorak. I feel like they ought to make some changes to Zamorak now that FSOA and Animate Dead have been changed. So obviously you get less healing now, so it's going to hurt more. You have less effective HP. And Animate Dead not working on typeless, that's the big one. So I really do think changing the damage of the smoke ring special attack and the Infernus tick damage, I think those two especially ought to be reduced. Debatably, you could say the damage that Zami does in P7 should be reduced, and I don't know, I don't think that's particularly required, to be honest. I think it's still fine how it is, but I wouldn't be against a small nerf to that. I would rather a much bigger nerf to the ring attack and the typeless tick damage in Infernus, because I think it just does a little bit much on both of them now that Animate Dead has ceased working on typeless. It's a bit rough. But either way, I hope you guys enjoyed this one. Let me know what you think about FSOA and Animate Dead. I hope you are as pleasantly surprised as I am. So yeah, we should say thank you everybody for watching. Hope you had a good time. I'm going to vote on the poll. I'm going to say you're both probably ready for launch, honestly. Let's see if the community agrees. Oh. Well, I'm going to skip players for you. Anyway, thank you guys for watching, and I will see you again in the near future.